First one on our list is the eighth son? Are you kidding me? Shinjo Ikonomiya was once a single Japanese salaryman until the day he fell asleep, and woke up in a magical fantasy world as a young boy named Wendelin von Benno Baumeister, the eighth son of the noble Baumeister family. Due to his family being poor, Wendelin is unlikely to inherit anything from his father. As the family's noble title, wealth, and possessions will go to his eldest brother Kurt, while the rest of his brothers leave the succession to find income by other means. He looks through his father's library and finds a magic testing orb, which glows with rainbow colors when he activates it, proving he has an ability to use magic. Alfred, a former court wizard turned restless undead, senses his magical prowess and decides to teach Wendelin everything he knows about magic. Thanks to Alfred, Wendelin becomes a skilled swordsman and mage, leading him to become a famous adventurer known throughout the kingdom. Next one on our list is, didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Misato Kurihara, a genius girl who couldn't make any friends due to her exceptional abilities, was killed after being run over while protecting a young girl. Offered the chance to be reborn into a fantasy world, Misato asks that she simply be reincarnated with average abilities. Reborn as the noble Adele von Asksum, she soon discovers that average in this new world takes into account the power of the absolute strongest and the absolute weakest magical creatures, resulting in her physical and magical abilities being 6,800 times stronger than that of a typical human, which is half of that of the strongest ancient dragon, the strongest of all the magical creatures. Attending Hunter's prep school alongside her classmates Mavis, Reina, and Pauline, Adele tries her best to live her life as normally as possible, which does not prove to be an easy feat. Next one on our list is Overlord. The final hour of the popular virtual reality game Yggdrasil has come. However, Momonga, a powerful wizard and master of the Dark Gildan's Oulgown, decides to spend his last few moments in the game as the servers begin to shut down. To his surprise, despite the clock having struck midnight, Momonga is still fully conscious as his character. And moreover, the non-player characters appear to have developed personalities of their own. Confronted with this abnormal situation, Momonga commands his loyal servants to help him investigate and take control of this new world, with the hopes of figuring out what has caused this development, and if there may be others in the same predicament. Next one on our list is Campione. Some people suddenly find religion, but for 16-year-old Kusanagi Godu, it's that really old-time religion that's found him. As the result of defeating the god of war in mortal combat, Godu stuck with the unwanted position of Campione, or God Slayer, whose duty is to fight heretical gods whenever they try to muscle in on the local turf. Not only is this likely to make Godu roadkill on the highway to heaven, it's also a job that comes with a lot of other problems. Like how to deal with the fact that his enhanced status is attracting a bevy of overly worshipy female followers. Get ready for immortal affairs, heavenly harems, and lots of dueling deities taking Pius in the face as the ultimate smash, bash and thrash of the Titans rocks both heaven and earth. Next one on our list is Isekai Cheat Magician. Regular high schooler Taiki Nishimura and his childhood friend, Rin Azuma, are on their way to school one ordinary morning. Suddenly, a glowing light envelopes them, transporting them to a fantasy world full of magical creatures. Upon their arrival, Taiki and Rin are threatened by a beast. They are promptly saved by a group of adventurers, who advise the pair that traveling unarmed and inexperienced makes them vulnerable to the recently increasing monster attacks. Taiki and Rin are directed to the guild, where they can determine their magical aptitude and register as adventurers. However, the test they take reveals an unprecedented result. Taiki and Rin possess extraordinary powers that far surpass the standard mage. Taiki and Rin learn to grasp the full extent of their powers, instantly transforming them from typical high school students to the ultimate cheat magicians. Next one on our list is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Takuma Sakamoto is a gamer who is mysteriously transported to the virtual world of his favorite MMORPG, Cross Reverie. With the appearance of his own character in the game, the Demon Lord Diablo. In this new world resembling his favorite game, Takuma is greeted by the two girls who summoned him, Rem Galeu, a petite Pantherian adventurer, and Shara L. Greenwood, an elf summoner. They perform an enslavement ritual in an attempt to subjugate him, but the spell backfires and causes them to become his slaves instead. With the situation now becoming more awkward than ever, Takuma decides to act like his character while interacting with others, and makes use of his high stats and vast knowledge of Cross Reveries lore to survive in his new environment, traveling along with Rem and Shara to look for a way to remove their slave collars, while helping them with their own personal issues that led them to summon him in the first place. Next one on our list is Meijutsushi Orphan Hagurtabi. In a world of magic and monsters, Krillin Finrandi and his foster sister Azalea Kate Sixth were once promising students of sorcery, prodigies at the famous Tower of Fangs. But an experiment gone horribly wrong warps Azalea's appearance, trapping her in the form of a dragon. Elders at the tower are more interested in preserving their reputation rather than their students' lives, drive off the transformed Azalea and cover up the incident. Outraged Krillin strikes out on his own, taking the new name of Orphan and vowing to return Azalea to her normal state. 5 years later, Orphan's quest has stalled. A chance encounter brings him face to face with Azalea again, but he still has no way to restore her body. And with a hostile group of sorcerers hunting her down, he may be running out of time. The past and present collide as Orphan tries to find how to save Azalea from their former teachers and friends. One on our list is In Another World with My Smartphone. 15-year-old Tuya Mochizuki is accidentally killed by God. As an apology, God allows him to be resurrected, but since he cannot send him back to his old world, he instead reincarnates him into a fantasy world along with a single special request. Tuya uses his request in order to bring his smartphone into the new world with him, which God modifies. As such, while Tuya cannot contact his old world with it, the phone can be easily recharged by magic and can otherwise function such as accessing data from the old world, and can use relevant features for his new world, such as the GPS function to locations, which are comprehensively identified on it. God also greatly amplifies Tuya's physical, magical, and cognitive abilities to a certain degree as a further apology for the inconvenience of killing him. Next one on our list is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. Ichiro Suzuki is a 29-year-old gaming programmer. After taking a nap, he mysteriously wakes up in a parallel world that resembles some of the fantasy RPG worlds he had worked on, as a 15-year-old named Satu, later Satu Pendragon, a nickname he uses while running beta tests, and with what looks like the menu screen of the game he was working on appearing before his inner eye. However, before he can grasp his current situation, an army of lizardmen ambushes him and launches an all-out attack on him. In desperation, he uses all three of his special Meteor Rain attack options, a quick fix he added to the game for new players which kills all enemies in the vicinity, at once and wipes them all out, accidentally killing a god as well. As a result, his level jumps from 1 to 310, maximizing his stats immensely and making him one of the most powerful people in the world. Next one on our list is Akashic Records of Bastard Magic Instructor. The Alzano Empire is home to one of the most distinguished magic schools in the world, the Alzano Imperial Magic Academy. Here, ambitious young students undergo training to become competent magicians. Sistine Fibula Stern is noble girl, and her bright-eyed best friend Rumia Tingle attend the academy, determined to cultivate their magical skills. However, their world is thrown for a loop when their favorite teacher suddenly retires, and the enigmatic Glenn Radars replaces him. His lazy and indifferent attitude toward life and magic quickly puts him at odds with his class. What's more, nefarious forces hidden within the Empire's walls start to become active, and Sistine, Rumia, and Glenn find themselves caught up in their schemes.